Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Rohan Sylvester. I'm part of the marketing team at Indeed. I'm a recruitment evangelist with Indeed, and I'm extremely happy to welcome you all uh, to the episode, to the 10th episode of Top Jobs in India, an initiative to help people find jobs, a one of its kind series brought to you by Indeed and People Matters. For those of you who may not know, Indeed is the world's number one job site with over 25 crore job seekers across the globe using us every month to find their next big opportunity. If you're looking for your next great opportunity, just like 25 crore other people, just log on to Indeed.com and start searching. Looking for a new job is probably one of the most difficult and stressful things that anyone has to do. There are so many things to consider. Will this organization be the right organization for me? Is the cultural fit good? Will I fit into the role? Will I fit into the organization? Will I fit into the team? And several more questions are typically rattling around our brain when we are looking for and applying for new jobs. It's not an easy process. And these questions are only amplified nowadays with everything happening virtually now. So we thought that why don't we give everyone a first-hand view of what it's like to work for some of the top companies in India, give them a bit of a sneak peek into into some of these large organizations that they're trying to apply for. And that's why we decided to have this hiring week. This initiative is a small effort by Indeed to help job seekers understand a little better and get a few insight into some of the top companies. And with that, it is my pleasure to welcome our guest for today, Mr. Anil Kumar Singh, Vice President Talent Acquisition at Capgemini, a prolific business leader with 20 plus years of commendable experience. 18 years of those were with the Capgemini team. He has worked in several functions, including people supply chain with a specialization in talent acquisition, resourcing, transformation, and change management. A great fact that I learned about Anil was he joined the Capgemini team when it was only 340 employees strong. It is now at an alarmingly huge 110,000. So Anil definitely has had a lot of experience with the team, and I'm sure he can give us some great insights into what it's like to work at Capgemini. So I'm going to be asking Anil some really interesting questions to ensure that all our viewers who have joined us today understand Capgemini a little better after this session. So thanks for joining us, Anil, and thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you, Rohan, and good evening to everyone. And yeah, look forward to the session. Quite excited.
Great. Before we dive into the questions, let me also give you all a quick overview of Capgemini. Now, Capgemini is a massive organization, and I'm sure all of you have heard of it. But I'm just going to take a couple of seconds to, give a little bit of an insight. Capgemini is a global leader in consulting, digital transformation, technology, and engineering services. The group is at the forefront of innovation to address the entire breadth of clients' opportunities in the evolving world of cloud, digital, and platforms. Building on its strong 50-year heritage and deep industry-specific expertise, Capgemini enables organizations to realize their business ambitions through an array of services from strategy all the way to operations. A responsible and a multicultural company of over 265,000 people across 50 countries, Capgemini's purpose is to unleash human energy through technology for an inclusive and sustainable future. With Altran, the group reported a 2019 combined global revenue of 17 billion euros. And that's a great story about Capgemini. So to all our viewers, if you want to know anything specific about Capgemini, please post your questions in the comment section, which is on the right side of your screen. If you're watching this episode through Facebook or YouTube channels, feel free to post your questions in the comment section. We will try and answer most of the questions that you have, so keep the questions flowing. And with that, we will get started with the questions. My first question to you, Anil.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of talk about the effect of COVID on India and globally, in fact. So, and a big part of the effect is in relation to the jobs.
To ensure the health, safety, and well-being of all our team members.
Just give us a minute. So there's an announcement.
Please pay attention. Utmost importance before you leave home for office every day.
I guess Anil is having an announcement.
Yeah. There's an announcement, but yeah, let's go ahead.
No issues. I guess this is some of the things about working in a COVID environment.
Sure.
So, as I was saying, COVID has changed a lot of things, including things like this announcement, which I'm clear are about the COVID situation. And a big part of that is jobs.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask you, how do you foresee the overall job market in India? One second. I think it's quite loud. Even so, I'll just take a minute we'll just wait for the announcement to get done. No problem at all. I guess this is it's a good reflection on Capgemini, considering, I mean, putting so much importance on what it is.
While our cafeteria, we recommend an added precaution.
Awesome.
The reception.
So maybe I'll try Rohan to be loud. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. So my first question is, how do you foresee the overall job market in India shaping up in the next 6 to 9 months? Any comments on hiring volumes, if possible?
So if I look at it, the IT services will remain very attractive and a significant part of the job environment. Demand for talent and demand for services will continue to explode. That's the way we look at it. And given the role technology is playing today, and it will play in future, the demands are going to be there. Okay. The hiring outlook looks very positive as our clients are looking at transforming their business, to be more agile, flexible, to optimize cost. And as the businesses are undergoing this digital transformation, we see that the demand for skilled professional is only going to increase. The job market in India, I would say, is on a road to recovery. And we are already seeing a positive uptrend of demand in newest technologies like digital, cloud, data and analytics, and cybersecurity. And if I talk about Capgemini, hiring that we have done, in H1, we have already done 9,500 hires, which is a mix of experience as well as college hires. And our plan for H2 is to hire 13,500 people. And if I look at the hiring that we have done so far in H2, most likely we will not just meet the numbers, but actually will beat the numbers. I think, Rohan, you're on mute.
No, I've got it. Thank you. No, I said it's great to hear that, because especially there's a lot of doom and gloom surrounding the job market particularly. It's really nice to hear an organization has not only hired in such significant numbers and is looking to hire more. And this is a common trend that we're hearing, that the tech industry, as a consequence of the digital transformation that's been forced on most organizations, they're seeing a good uptrend in the job market, and that's always great news. With that, get to the next question. What are the major skills you're planning to hire for in the next few months?
So if I look at, Rohan, the skills that we have been hiring, as I said, we have been hiring, in spite of the pandemic, and the demands that our clients are asking us, to hire. I would say digital, cloud, data and analytics, cybersecurity, SAP with the SAP HANA, then Java, Microsoft, Oracle, testing. So we have demand for all these skills. And as I said, since our clients are looking at transforming the business, the demand for skills is there, and it will continue to be very high as we move into the future.
Well, that's great to hear, particularly that you have very specific skills needs. And I'm sure that's what you're looking out for in candidates. So yes. I guess it's a good sign to viewers who are watching. If you have any of the skills, you should definitely consider applying for jobs at Capgemini. My next question is an interesting one, especially now it's easy because you're a tech company. Y'all are very used to using technology in hiring. But I guess I want to know more about how you are leveraging technology in hiring. And I guess it also talks to the times, because technology has played a very big role in hiring in COVID's time.
Yeah, absolutely. And fortunately, Rohan, for us, we had already planned this as part of our transformation, to transform the TA function and making it getting automation and making it 100% virtual. So, it really helped us. And if I just give split it up into, say, lateral hires, if I talk about the experienced hires, the process that we follow is that we have launched an AI-based sourcing tool. This tool basically matches a candidate's profile against the job description, and it recommends the best profile for the role. So what it helps us is we don't need to process hundreds and hundreds of candidates through the interview process. It will tell us which is the best match, and it's been trained based on the historical data. So that's the first step. We recently launched a chatbot which helps us in doing the pre-screening of candidates. Some of the basic questions about relocation, notice period. There's a chatbot which is doing the initial screening. We have tied up with partners who help us in the digital assessments. So, the digital evaluation, the level 1 interviews for varied skills. We use our partners to undergo the assessment, the technical assessment. And then there is the video interviews that we're using in the virtual world for level 2 interviews. So this, I would say, is for a landscape for our the experienced hires that we do. And for our fresher or the college hires, which is our Capgemini Exceller brand for engineering hiring that we do, we completely transformed that hiring. So working with our vendor and the academic partners, we just went absolutely virtual on our hiring, to the students in an effective manner. The process is absolutely streamlined, seamless, and accessible. So just imagine, right from a pre-placement talk, a webinar, the initial connect, guest lectures, expert, everything is now virtual. Our assessments, which is all in a proctored environment, has gone virtual. Interview scheduling, we are doing live interviews. Everything is happening in a digital world. The other change that we brought about this year in the fresher hiring is, in addition to our technical as well as the communication assessment, we've added a game-based cognitive assessment, as an additional step, and a behavioral profiling. So these are the two things that we did this year, in addition to our assessment that we have been doing. And we are getting AI proctored assessment reports, which is helping our technical panel and our HR panel in doing the further round of interviews. So completely digital, and and that's why we have been able to hire at such scale this year.
That's awesome to hear, Anil, and especially this was a very long list of technologies that you're using, and I'm sure your recruiters it must be making it a lot easier for them to close roles and making it a lot easier. And because we can't forget that in these times, the hiring process is not just stressful only for job seekers, right? There is another end of the equation where recruiters are also extremely stressed about how they are going to close roles. But it sounds like you've covered all your bases. You're helping out job seekers, get hired, and helping out the recruiters. And that's great to hear. That's amazing to hear. My next question is, what are your expectations in terms of skill sets from candidates applying for these roles that Capgemini is currently hiring for?
So, candidate, if I look at from a candidate standpoint, I would say learning agility. It's very important. Deep passion for technology. Open and flexible to look at new opportunities. Confident, and having an excellent communication skills. I would say this would be the complete package. And when I talk about deep passion for technology, I would say ability to solve complex problem, being creative, being innovative, all would come together. And one of the things that I see which will happen now, given the pandemic and the remote working, is the behavioral competencies are going to be very, very important. Maybe we were not focusing on it that much, but now I think they will be playing a key role. So whether it is adaptability, whether it is result orientation, collaboration, resilience, all these are going to be equally important, from a candidate standpoint.
Thanks for that, Anil. And I think it's really important that most job seekers are aware. And I think I'm hearing this from a lot of different organizations. Those behaviors that you're talking about, adaptability, collaboration, those are suddenly becoming important. And I guess it's incumbent on the job seeker to come up with ways to improve that if they're not good at it. Because especially what COVID has shown us is the fact that if you are not an adaptable employee, if you're not able to collaborate in a virtual environment, it is going to be hard. It's not going to be impossible, but it's definitely going to be hard to do your work.
Yes.
And that's really important for everybody. My next question actually kind of relates directly to my previous. Of course, you're doing a lot of interviews. As you said earlier, you're hiring in large numbers. So, and considering COVID, all of these interviews are probably, or most of these interviews at least, are probably virtual ones. So what would be some of your few tips that you might have for candidates to stand out in virtual interviews?
Oh, tips. Okay. Okay. I would say first and foremost, the candidate, should ensure that they strictly abide by the do's and the don'ts. I think the candidates need to realize that while we have gone virtual, it's happening in a proctored environment. So, follow the do's and the don'ts which the recruiter or the HR is telling you. Don't try to game the system. I think that would be my first tip. The second would be make sure you are expressive with your answers. I think that passion for technology should come out. The knowledge should come out in the discussion. Dress as you would in an in-person interview. Because that gives you that confidence while you are going through the interview process, and you need to monitor your body language. The best way is to exhibit confidence, sit straight, smile, look into the camera. I think these are something very basic, but I'm sure this would help you go through the process easier, I would say.
Thanks, Anil. And that's right. I guess also job seekers should be aware that everybody is in the same scenario. However awkward it is for you, it is as equally awkward for the person on the side. And maybe there can be some sort of joint camaraderie. The anxiousness would pass from both sides. So my next question is, what are some of the additional steps that Capgemini has taken to ensure a great candidate experience during this pandemic? Because for a lot of companies, candidate experience is a huge part of how job seekers choose a company. They make decisions based on that. So what are the additional steps you've taken to just maintain a great candidate experience, be it the application process or the interviews or onboarding?
Yeah, I would say, Ron, great question. And for like any other organization, for Capgemini, candidate experience and engagement is a top priority. And for this, some of the things that we did, I already mentioned to you about the virtual interviews, the virtual onboarding. We have taken the entire hiring process digital, so I'm sure that has enhanced the candidate experience. But some of the other things that we did is, for example, for our offered candidates, we did a 4-week engagement program post-offer in a gamified manner where we shared information about Capgemini. Then, we had quiz sessions with them, and on joining, we gave them some gift vouchers. But we put in an engagement program post-offer. Regular BU connects where our business unit leaders got into a conversation with the candidate in the virtual world, telling them about Capgemini, about the business unit, about the kind of role that they would be playing, how would the career, progress. So, some of those questions which a candidate really wants to know is something that we have tried to answer. Buddy, on a new joiner joining, there is that buddy program to ensure that there is somebody that you can reach out to, after joining. Also, some of the questions that you may have. One of the important, I would say, an exercise that we did during this time is to standardize our entire communication templates. We looked at every touch point that we have with the candidate. We work with our marketing and communication team, and we standardized the communication template so that whoever from the Capgemini recruitment team is reaching out to the candidate, there is one consistent experience that we give them about Capgemini. So we completely revamped our communication template. we focused a lot on our Glassdoor interview ratings. And, happy to share that if I compare it with what we were last year, we have a 6% increase in our ratings in a positive way. So which is good news, and which is telling us that we are taking steps in the right direction. Yeah.
That's great to hear, Anil. I'm actually quite impressed that you're able to initiate a buddy program even in a virtual environment, and that's always nice to hear. I think it's a great program in most companies, and also really nice to hear that you're looking at data when you're considering your interview process. You're looking at Glassdoor and the ratings that it's there on the interview process. That's nice to hear. My next question is, if you had to call out 3 things on why a candidate should join your organization, what would that be? And I'm aware that it could be multiple things, but I guess for this interview, we're just going to ask 3.
Yeah. So I would say, at Capgemini, people are at the center of all that what we do. And during the ongoing pandemic, I think the first and foremost priority for us was our employee safety. And that is something that the entire Capgemini leadership first focused on. And we then, followed it up with ensuring that our staffs are equipped with the required bandwidth and the gear to work from home. And we ensured 95% of our employees were working from home, very quickly, as in the very first few weeks of the pandemic. While we did that, we very quickly realized that employee wellness is going to be very, very important aspect. So we ensure that we stay connected with the employees. We seek their feedback. We ensure that we made them feel valued and cared for, because this is in the virtual world, that was very important. So the employee connect, I would say, is one of the key things. We also launched various structured employee engagement programs to keep the morale high, and the energy high. Our learning and training programs have also gone completely virtual. So during the pandemic, we actually launched Next, which is the state-of-the-art learning platform. What's interesting, Rohan, is it's an AI-driven platform which recommends micro-learning, personalized micro-learning, renowned learnings from renowned content providers like Harvard, Pluralsight, Coursera, Microsoft Learn, ServiceNow. So that an employee can upskill, the skills. And at the same time, our HR and learning and development teams can, actually push in structured learning using specific skill plan and pathways. So if I have to summarize, I would say 3 things. People at the heart of the organization. We nurture and invest in our people. We really believe that it is our people that make us what we are. You get the freedom and the opportunity to build your own career and get the future you want. And the culture is very open and transparent. So those are the things.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anil. And I'm really impressed by that. With the AI recommended learning, it's something that I'm definitely going to read up on. It sounds very interesting. My next question is also kind of related to what we were discussing just now about learning. Do you provide skilling programs and certification to find the best match for a profile?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have radically transformed our internal trainings and certifications, Rohan. Be it, for example, a left shift model, where we collaborate with our training partners and academic, institutes, and basically try and push, the training programs in the final semester. Or like today, while our trainings are virtual, it's immersive and experiential in nature. So the student gets to do hands-on work, which I think is very, very important. Now, what this has done is this approach enhances self-learning ability and makes the fresher more adaptable to the ever-changing technologies. Because as I said, you need to be adaptable. You need to have that learning agility to pick up new skills. So it really builds that. And we have ensured this through our. So we have a pre-onboarding learning program called Adapt, which really helps the freshers, to undergo, and they undergo this program even before they join Capgemini. So there's a lot of focus and emphasis on the entire learning capability and certifications.
Excellent. That's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
My next question is a little different from what we were discussing. So how do you, or in your case, how does Capgemini go about building a great or a strong employer brand?
I would say we are a strong brand, but just to give you some more inputs, during this time, it was essential to address the uncertainties that plague an employee and also to a candidate. So at Capgemini, what we did is we launched a structured employee engagement program, as I mentioned, to boost the morale of our employee and stay connected with them. Fun is a core value at Capgemini. And we continue to live this value of fun even in this time. So we launched a Capgemini Big Boss Challenge, wherein employees could participate along with their families and take up some exciting series of tasks or contents to participate. So this was kind of an employee engagement initiative that we did. We did a lot of quizzes and sessions with our employees, and we had close to 85,000 of our employees participating in the various programs that we launched from an employee engagement standpoint. And if I talk about the external, talent pool, we have recently, for the tech enthusiast, we have recently launched our flagship hackathon tech challenge. The recent one is already launched. It's a unique hackathon which is designed to identify the best programmers across industry. A tech challenge offers every passionate developer, I would say, an opportunity to compete with the best minds in industry, and together they solve real world challenges and create something which is very innovative solution for a sustainable future. So these are some of the things that I could think of from an employee brand standpoint.
Okay. Thanks so much. Those are some really great programs that Capgemini has initiated to help with this branding, and I think employer branding will play a very big role in attracting talent in the future. I'm sure it will have to adapt as the priorities of job seekers adapt as well, which is great to hear that Capgemini is also doing that. My next question is, what is the work-life culture at your organization like? All that we've spoken about now, Capgemini is doing so many things. So, and I'm sure everyone's busy with the work. So I guess this is a question that a lot of people have, right? So what is the work-life culture at?
So I would say life at Capgemini is dynamic and lively, where people not only ace their field of expertise, but also give meaning to their passion. So and our new brand promise, which is recently launched, "Get the future you want," capture the spirit and energy of the Capgemini group. And just talking about the brand promise, it's a commitment to our client and to our employees. And so to our employees, what does it translates to is that get the future you want, from your career standpoint, and Capgemini will help you achieve that. We have also from a gender diversity standpoint, diversity and inclusion has always been in our DNA, and it's a critical priority for Capgemini to ensure that we create a sustainable pipeline of the best available talent and increase women representation across levels with focus at senior levels. I would say, there is work and there is fun, all together.
That's great to hear, Anil. It's awesome that an organization has fun at its core also. That you mentioned that in your previous answer, but it's great to hear that you're practicing also that. So my last question before we jump into viewer questions, and this is, I'm sure, a lot of interest to a lot of job seekers listening to us. Does Capgemini have any special programs for fresher engagement?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, we have. So, and during this time where remote working has become, the new normal, it's important to pay particular attention to the new talent that are joining us. I already spoke about the buddy program, but let me talk about something very interesting that we do at Capgemini, and it's a program called the Millennial Garage. Now, it's a program where within Capgemini that provides fresher an opportunity to work on new technologies along with the the SMEs and the experts that we have. So even before they get assigned to a billable project, they are part of this Millennial Garage, and they're working with experts on new technology. Millennial Garage has now gone virtual, and currently 75% of our freshers are part of this Millennial Garage, and they're working with the experts to come up with innovative solutions as part of our Resilient Enterprise initiative. And it's very interesting, Ron, that they've really worked with the experts to come up with some real innovative solutions, whether it's about crowd sensing and alerting, whether it's about demand sensing and inventory management, supplier risk assessment, COVID-19 business impact. These are some of the things that our freshers have put in their energy and their technical expertise to working with the experts. And so again, we will keep coming back to the fun part. So while there is Millennial Garage, we also launched for our freshers a program called CapGems. This is for our freshers who are undergoing training digitally. We had a lot of quiz contests called Menti Madness. We had Creativity Challenge. We had Capgemini Got Talent. We had Shutter Superstars, which is our photography contest. So all of these engagement programs, have been well received and appreciated by our fresher team.
That's great to hear, Anil. I mean, that sounds like a lot of programs for someone joining. And you know what? That leads me to my first viewer question also. And this is an interesting one. This is the question on successful new hires. What do the most successful new hires do in their first month? Like, I guess a better way to phrase this question is, what are some of the qualities that you've seen in new hires that like this will lead to success for them in Capgemini?
I would say, at Capgemini, we use a word called Lagniappe, which is fire in the belly. So as long as, I would say, you are hungry for success, you want to go that extra mile, and you want to do things, you will be successful. One of the key things is Capgemini gives you an opportunity to, you can look at an opportunity and raise your hand and say, listen, this looks interesting, and this is something that I want to do it. We'll support you in that journey. But that hunger, that passion is something that needs to be within you. It should not be about somebody telling you, hey, listen, I have this opportunity. Do you want to take this up? Okay. I think then that's not the way. Yeah.
No, that makes a complete sense, right? Essentially, you're saying Capgemini will give you the opportunities if you want them, but you have to reach out and take those opportunities. Yeah.
Our brand promise: get the future you want, but you need to work with us.
Yeah. Oh yes, yeah, brilliant. That's great. We have one more quick viewer question, and I'm just going to talk. Can you talk a little bit about your diversity? I know we spoke about it a little bit, but your diversity and inclusion plans at Capgemini, because clearly looking forward, a lot of organizations are focused on this, and in my opinion, and many people's opinion, the ability to increase diversity and inclusion in organizations can play a very huge role, not just in the company's success from a productivity, but it can also play a huge role in the country's success, because it would improve a lot of, participation is the word of people in the organization. So what plans does diversity, what diversity and inclusion plans do you have at Capgemini?
So Ron, while I answer that question, I want to tell you one point on diversity and inclusion is that Capgemini India has been awarded as the economic dividends of gender equality, the EDGE certification, in recognition for our commitment to gender inclusivity. So that's I think it's So that's a recognition for our diversity and inclusion, and it's a big priority for right from our CXO leadership. To the talent acquisition, to the HR leader. And, happy to share, Ron, that even when I look at our Q2 hiring percentage, we were at, 35% of our hiring was, the women hiring percentage. we ended Q3 with 55% of our hiring being women hiring. September we ended with 60% of our hiring being the women hiring percentage, and October also we have ended with 60%. And our focus is to continue to operate at in Q4 at 60% of our hiring, and as we move into Q1 we'll go with the 50%. But there's a lot of focus and on this. This is a vital topic for us. So I would say diversity and inclusion and climate are two very, very important vital topic for Capgemini.
I'm really happy about. I just have to say, just watching you answer this question with passion shows like you're not just Capgemini, you're also committed to this, and your usage of data is great in conveying that message. Thank you so much, Anil. With that, we come to an end of today's session. I would like to take this moment to thank Anil for giving some great answers, giving us a great time. You should probably be looking right now. You see a link on the screen and a link pinned in the comment section, which allows you to apply to jobs at Capgemini. Capgemini is a great place, and Anil was able to give us a great insight into the organization. So please, if you're looking for jobs, if you think you would be a fit in the Capgemini culture, if you think you have the skills to succeed at Capgemini, please do go ahead and apply for jobs. I want to apologize for people whose questions we couldn't get to, and the small late start in the beginning with the announcement, which was actually nice to hear, because clearly the organization is taking a lot of efforts to keep everyone working safe. All that being said, thank you so much, Anil. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Ron. My pleasure.
And thank you. And that's all for now. We have one more session coming up at 6 p.m. with Kotak Mahindra Bank. So please don't forget to tune in then as well. Thanks, Anil. Thanks, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.